helping my African community and my New York City community understand that Ebola is not the end. And there's so many things that we can be doing here for Africa. And for the Caribbean and the diaspora, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, there's so many people we can serve here. But I just wanted to say, I've been in the Bronx about 10 years. And the Bronx, you know, like the Congressman said, had a lot of struggles. But I met some of the most awesome people in the Bronx. And it's for people like Titi, who is our president of African People Alliance. You know, people in my community tease me and they say I'm so Americanized. How did I get so African and so involved? And it's because, you know, my mom worked in healthcare and introduced me to being able to give and serve back to your community. And people like Ramatu and Miriam and Naima and, you know, their elected officials such as Helen Diane Foster and the Bronx Borough President and Senator Gustavo Rivera, and now the congressmen who've reached out to me and saw me for what I think is, I'm just doing a little bit, but it means a lot. And I want to thank the Sierra Leone Nurses Association. It's an organization that's older than the independence of our country. And our mother chapter is in Sierra Leone. And we decided to bring the chapter here in California, and now we have it in New York. And, you know, I have people from my community, Ahmed, so we decided to do the we have a union of organizations, of Sierra Leone organizations here in New York, and we have so many important people here that serve the African community, who are African and non-African. And I just want to thank everybody for this opportunity, because it means so much to me, more than anything else, more than gold, more than money, just to know that it's good to serve. And don't forget, and involve your youth, African community, and involve your women, and know that it's something that you always have to do, even when there's challenges. Continue to do it, continue to do it. And again, I just thank you for this honor. It's such an honor to me. And I dedicate this to my father, who unfortunately is not here. He passed in January, but he would have been so proud to see this, because he went to everything I did in the Bronx. And again, thank you, Titi, thank you.
So, I will rephrase it and say that a society that does not recognize the achievements of its members is not worth dying for. So, to make it short, I will say that words may seem meager to express our gratitude to you for your dynamism, for your sagacity, for your tenacity of purpose, for your hard-working spirit within our community. And we pray that society and generations yet unborn will continue to honor the good works you are doing until death do us part. We have a lot of members from the Ghanaian community. But Mohammed has asked me to tell you that whenever any of our members from different parts of our community, is it Ashanti, Abobo, whatever you need, if you're going to organize something, let us know. We'll come and support you. It's part of our charitable cause. We do.
One of the gentlemen from my office, Anthony Jordan, the other gentleman was outside getting some juice, but don't rush, please, because we ran out of juice, and that's Ramon Cabral from my office. For a minute, I thought that for that picture, he was going to call up everybody. I'm telling you, there were very popular people here. I'm getting a little nervous. Our next honoree is Afua Atta Mensah. Center, a program that I know very well and has done a lot of work Afua received her bachelor's from Trinity College, where she was a presidential fellow and a graduate of Fordham University School of Law, where she was a Stein Scholar. You're not thinking of running against me, are you? Okay. That we honor, as we also honor the person who goes to work in a factory or in a store or in an office every day. But every so often we have to stop and say some people in our community, through blessings and through a lot of hard work, accomplished academically more than many other people. Congratulate you for your legal work. Congratulate you for your support of our community and for being an outstanding citizen. So a certificate of special congressional recognition to Afua Ata Mensah. Did I do okay? Close. No one has said I did okay. They say I'm in the ballpark, I'm close, you know. For your outstanding community leadership and dedication. October 14, 2015, Jose Serrano, Congressman.
African communities here in the Bronx, and a long-time voracious fighter for people in the Bronx and New Yorkers in general. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank some of my amazing supporters and elders here. We heard Ramatu Adama Diop, formerly the head for the Women of the Senegalese American Association, Stephanie Arthur, an African Leadership Project, and all of my fellow honorees who are here tonight. I'm so excited and honored to be with such an amazing be recognized with such an amazing folks. I want to thank my fellow communities, my members here of the African communities, and as a Ghanaian, it is especially good to be honored in the Bronx because as you know, all the Bronx is just an extension of Kumasi, right? We come from Kumasi, we come straight here to the Bronx. So it's like being honored at home, and I am honored and privileged to be able to serve here in my community. I'm, as mentioned, an attorney with the Urban Justice Center, and we provide legal representation to low and no-income New Yorkers in all 5 boroughs. But here in the Bronx, we have an office at Union Community Health Center on 188th Street between T-Bout and Ballantyne. So I want to encourage everyone to talk to members in your community, family members, clients, and let them know that they can come and receive representation by the Urban Justice Center. Let them know there's a fellow Ghanaian who is there, so we have language services. And to encourage people who are here to talk to friends about making sure that we are actively engaged and involved in our community, be it the community board, community-based organization, and that we're supporting amazing community-based organizations that service our community. So again, thank you all for coming tonight, and thank you so much, Congressmember.
And it culminates in a lot of things that I've seen happen. When I was first speaking to you, I didn't tell you that in my 41 years in public office, I've seen a lot of change. Some things were not good, a lot of things were very good. But there were some things that I will carry with me the rest of my life, and some things that affect you in many ways. I never thought that I would see an African-American president, and I saw it. But being very careful, since they're recording me, not to make a political statement, understand how the American political system works. If we had not elected him, she would not have been appointed to the Supreme Court. And not only did he appoint somebody who is Latino, but our President Obama appointed a Puerto Rican from the Bronx. We never thought, or I didn't know when, our silly relationship with Cuba would change. Cuba is a sister nation that never hurt us in any way. And we deal with this country that's different from us. We deal with this country that's different from us. We deal with this country that's different from us, but we didn't want to deal with Cuba. And President Obama had the courage to say, we will deal with Cuban. And some people had a heart attack over that, but most Americans said a couple of things that I can say to you and some that I can't say to you out of respect. But most Americans said, so the cigars will get better, you know, the music will get better, and some other things to drink will get better. And we now have this relationship that's opening up with a people that also have very deep African roots in their music and everything else. And that will change. Things will not change. They change now. I was interested in hearing our young lawyer, who's got a soft voice, but I assure you that you don't want to run across her in court because she'll probably tear you into pieces, you know, with a soft voice. She said that New York was just an extension. An extension. Well, you know something? This morning I was on a conference call via Skype. You know what that is? They were having a big conference of Puerto Ricans in Orlando, Florida. And I said, I come to you from the Puerto Rican capital of the world. And somebody said, you're in San Juan? I said, no, I'm in the Bronx. But the Bronx is the capital of this and the capital of that. It's 1.5 million people that come from speaking over 100 different languages. Now here's one that I'm going to have a problem with. Our next honoree is Ngande Ambrose.
It's just for me, nothing.
I know that. He said it's just for me, not for
We're
you.
gonna share it. We're
Yeah,
gonna share it.
that's what worries me.
No. It's just for us.
I never told him I tried being a stand-up comedian once. As you can tell, I failed. Mr. Ambrose is one of many pioneers who worked to help the African community and bring it together. As Social Committee Chair of one of the founding members of the African Advisory Council to the Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr., Mr. Ambrose is among the leading voices in the African community. For many years, he has organized for the African community in New York for the Bronx Week, an African soccer tournament that brings together various African communities within the 5 boroughs in New York City. With 20 countries represented and 460 soccer players in the league. That is truly amazing. And I want to, on behalf of the people who sent me to Congress, on behalf of the Congress of the United States, present to you the certificate of recognition for your work.
That was started a long time ago. And I'm just going to say something to the Congressman Serrano. When I grow up, I'm going to be like you. That's what I'm looking for. I'm drinking a lot of milk now so I can grow up and be like you. But let me just mention something. A couple of years ago, I think 2010, I believe it was, we have some issue in the Bronx here. By the way, I'm a chairman of Social Community African Advisory Council, Bronx Borough office. A couple of years ago, we had a couple of issues in the Bronx. We have a larger concentration of Africans in the United States, in the Bronx here. So we had an issue in the community where there was some kind of little conflict, or we call it misunderstanding, okay? To use a better word, was kind of misunderstanding within the community. And the only way we could have resolved that issue was to get together and try to discuss the issue among us. And that's where we end up with the African Advisory Council to the Bronx Borough President's Office. What we did was we got together, we end up sitting down with the same community which we've been having a problem with African in the community. And we came to the point where the discussion was so fruitful that people realized that we were all together. And the reason I'm saying this is that we sometimes live in a community where we tend to not to recognize who's next to us. We just look forward, just want to move ahead and do things. But sometimes what brings us together is more than what separates us. And as a chairman of a social committee, my responsibility is making sure that we get together and make things happen. And Congressman Serrano, what I can tell you is one of the things we're doing in this community is trying to bring people together. And all the help you can give us, we really appreciate it, because you notice that